It is about noon Eastern time here, and we are about 10 hours removed from what I still cannot believe happened last night, and that is CM Punk returning to the WWE at the end of the Survivor Series after the men's War Games match concluded, where we saw Team Cody Rhodes, with the return of Randy Orton, defeat Judgment Day in the main event of the Survivor Series 2023. Everybody, and rightfully so, is talking about CM Punk returning to the WWE, to the shock of everybody, literally everybody. I did not anticipate it to happen on Saturday night. I was certainly thinking it was going to happen. I thought it was probably better suited for the Royal Rumble, but WWE, at the end of the day, they played everything perfectly, and it went off unbelievably with Punk's return in Chicago at the end of the Survivor Series. I want to make one thing abundantly clear right now to everybody that tends to think that I'm crying because Punk is not in AEW and that he joined WWE and that, oh my God, I'm going to lose sleep over AEW, quote unquote, dying. I don't give a shit. You want to meddle in the tribalism, you go right ahead and meddle in the tribalism. I don't do that here. I want better pro wrestling, no matter what it is, AEW or WWE. I don't have an allegiance to one show or the other. I cover both. I don't care. I want a good show on Monday, I want a good show on Wednesday, and I want a good show on Friday. That's that. I've been asking for CM Punk to come back to the WWE ever since he got fired from AEW. Why? For two specific reasons. The show is better when he's on TV, no matter what show he's on. I love the chaos. He's going to throw a wrench into the system, and he's going to fuck shit up. He's going to take what is normal and formulaic and make it feel different. That's what I look for. That's what I want. Plus, as a content creator, this holiday season, we're about to eat really good here. That's why. There's money to be made with Punk in the WWE. They're going to make money off of him. He's going to make money off of them. And us podcasters and content creators are going to make money off of CM Punk and WWE. The world goes round and round. So why wouldn't I want him back? I don't give a shit where he is. So I want to lay that down right now. 20 million views CM Punk has garnered on X, on WWE social media account. His return blew everything out of the water last night. Absolutely ridiculous numbers. Ridiculous. Is CM Punk still a draw? Absolutely. Will people watch Monday Night Raw? Absolutely. It will be the biggest Monday Night Raw, the most must-see Monday Night Raw since Las Vegas, when Punk cut the pipe bomb on John Cena. It's going to be unbelievable. Monday Night Raw is looking stacked with the return of CM Punk and Randy Orton on Monday night. WrestleMania is about to be the biggest ever, and I can't wait. Fightful's got the story. This is coming from SAP. This is coming from Fightful. I got all the details right here. We're going to discuss it right now. He showed up at the end of Survivor Series. Big reaction. Surprised the building is still standing. SAP did a Q&A, and this is coming from part of that. And then, obviously, he got the news after Punk had made his return to WWE last night. Fightful was told on November 19th that CM Punk and Triple H had a very productive, hour-long conversation that mended fences between the two. Great. Great. Triple H said at the post-show presser that after 10 years, if you are still the same person, then that's on you and that's your fault. You're to blame. But people grow, people mature, and people deserve a second chance. That's why he's back in WWE. Word from Punk's side of that conversation reflected what Triple H said at the post-show presser. Fightful had posted a Q&A that Punk had claimed there were some conversations. To clarify, at the time, Punk and Triple H had the conversation, but it was single-sourced, meaning only one person was the source in the Fightful report, and they did not want to run it because they didn't back it up like they usually do, and it wasn't appropriate to run. I don't blame them there. Fightful did note that WWE representatives and the information that they heard from WWE reps they heard in an effort to confirm that. Triple H confirmed Fightful's previous reports that talks had not happened between the two sides until rumors heavily died down, and it actually looked like it didn't or wasn't going to happen. Now, I find that very funny how they said until rumors heavily died down. I don't know where they started to heavily die down. I think there was always a rumor or there was always something going on as far as a story with CM Punk. And the fact that he showed up last night, I just think it kind of grew into something on its own. They didn't really die down. I think there may have been like a small sliver of a portion of a week where it died down. And people started to say, you know what, I can't see it being Punk. And this is why a lot of us content creators ran with, I don't think he's showing up at Survivor Series. I think he'll actually end up benefiting from showing up in the Royal Rumble and becoming a part of the 30-man field in the Royal Rumble. I think that would be a better return for CM Punk. But obviously that did not happen, and he is now back. Punk had told select people close to him that he was returning and that the return was happening. Now, at the post-show presser, Triple H said that any reports of a deal prior were purely speculation and that it had come together very quickly. WWE confirmed the official agreement happened on Saturday, and sources near Punk claimed that as of Saturday morning, no contract was signed between Punk and WWE. Minutes before Punk appeared, a section of backstage was cleared out, but Punk was seen in plain sight. Fightful was told that Triple H took over producing the show himself at that point and called for the copyright graphic to show up on screen and then personally called for CM Punk's music to hit per Fightful. So I believe that absolutely, because you see what Triple H did in NXT Black and Gold. Very Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano-like. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you know. And he did the same thing, thinking that the show was going to go off the air. Let me tease the fans that the show's going off the air. We're going to end with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and Team Cody going off the air. And then you hear Cult of Personality hit, and everybody just lost their fucking minds. Producers, referees, staff, talent, and even head writers on the creative team were not told about Punk's arrival. Fightful was also told and heard word that Triple H, Bruce Pritchard, and Michael Hayes needed to discuss a change to the main event, but Fightful wasn't told specifically if that was Punk related. Now, I don't know what that means. It really didn't change the main event all that much. The only change that we got from what we saw on Raw leading into Survivor Series was the simple fact of two things. One, Randy Orton was announced on Monday, and everybody thought that Randy Orton was going to come out, have an entrance, and stand in the cage on the stage with Team Cody. That did not happen. Somewhere along the way, WWE decided to play up the fact that Randy Orton was not there and that he was not going to be out immediately to stand amongst the 10 men, or 9 men in this case, plus him, in the main event. They opted to go that route and play into the rumors. They took that and actually played into the rumors. They want you to think that Randy Orton was not there and we are chance of CM Punk all night, and they wanted people to think that Punk potentially could be in the main event. And then we got Randy Orton coming out, and he showed up, and he did his thing, and he won the match for Team Cody, and then the match ended, and then we got CM Punk. So there really wasn't much of a change outside of, hey, Randy Orton was announced. We know he's going to be in War Games, but let's kind of delay it, and let's not him show face immediately. Let's tease it a little bit and make people think he's not there, only to have Punk come out, and then Punk not come out, and Randy Orton comes out anyway. So WWE tried to really fool you and troll you. They were playing with fire, very much so, last night, but it ended up working out pretty brilliantly. Now we get into the good stuff. As it pertains to the main event talent being upset, there are numerous talent on the roster generally upset, just as they were excited and curious about every emotion. Talent were pulled aside before War Games and were told that CM Punk would be returning at the conclusion of the show. So if you're angry, you're angry. You didn't want him back in the first place. Anything that you saw after Punk's arrival is a complete work. Everything that you saw was a complete work. If you're angry and upset, you have every right to be if you're a talent. But at the end of the day, you are employed by WWE. You cannot go out there and say that Triple H and management did not let you know what was going on before it actually happened. You knew of his arrival. You went out there and had a great show last night. You can be angry, you can be upset, you can downright not want him there. But at the end of the day, everyone is going to be professional. Everyone is going to conduct business. Nick Khan, Triple H, and WWE management is not AEW. They will not let their locker room go to shit because this man is welcome back into the locker room. All because he had a reputation of doing what he did in AEW. That is not what's going to happen in WWE. AEW is mismanaged. AEW was heavily mismanaged. We're not going to get that in WWE. Everything that you saw from Rhea Ripley giving the middle finger to CM Punk when his music was playing, everything with Drew McIntyre walking out, which, by the way, he walked out before Punk's music hit, which is a complete work, to Seth Rollins throwing a fucking F-bomb-filled cursed rant in the aisleway when Punk came out last night. As Punk waved to the ringside area, we don't know who he was waving to. Randy Orton, for all we know, could have been waving to CM Punk. They have a history. Could have been waving to Cody. Rollins took it personally, quote unquote. It is a work. Told you last night, gonna tell you again. That is your night one main event for WrestleMania 40. Seth Rollins, CM Punk, World Heavyweight Championship. Main event WrestleMania 40. Everything you saw was a work. Everybody was told that Punk would be returning at the conclusion of the show. At least one talent claimed legitimately to be upset by the return of Punk, and both Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins visibly looked angry. Drew McIntyre is selling the fact that he lost War Games as a part of Team Judgment Day. He walked out before Punk's music hit. Seth Rollins is a showman. He's going to play up to the fact of the rumors that he hates Punk, and he's going to do business with CM Punk. You're not excited about it? Based off that clip, you're not excited about what's happening on Monday? I'm ready for it. I'm absolutely ready for it. Do you know why I'm ready for it? Because we haven't seen this type of fucking work shoot type of shit in WWE in a very long time. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens there. You know what I'm also looking forward to? The fact that CM Punk brings out the best in Seth Rollins now. We've seen this fucking Seth Rollins dressing all flamboyant and silly and just outlandish. Rollins last night looked like the Rollins of old. That's what I'm looking forward to. Get him out of his comfort zone a little bit and really bring Seth Rollins back to being a mean fucking prick that we know he is. It's going to be a very interesting dynamic. Punk back being the welcoming babyface back. Rollins is a big-time babyface on Raw. It is going to be unbelievable to see the dynamic between the two and which way the fans actually swing here. Fightful hasn't confirmed whether or not those were actual reactions, but they were at least claimed to be for obvious reasons. Seth Rollins had to be restrained by Michael Cole. This is how far they went into the work. He had to be restrained by Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and others. Cody was out there restraining him and others. Backstage, Seth Rollins was in Gorilla and had to be ushered away by Triple H and Michael Cole as he was looking for CM Punk. We're told that Punk looked confused and it was an awkward scene. It's all a work. It's all a work. I'm sure it is. Seth Rollins is not going to cause a scene like that as A, the world champion, and B, a locker room leader there in the WWE. He's not going to do that. And if he did, theoretically, if he did, it is going to be something that Rollins is going to look at and he's going to do business. He is. McIntyre was said to be visibly upset backstage, leaving the venue, slamming the locker room door and cursing as he left. When people close to McIntyre checked on him, he confirmed it was connected to the CM Punk return and that it wasn't a part of a work and that he was selling to the back to maintain some professionalism. I don't think Drew McIntyre, listen, Drew McIntyre may or may not like CM Punk. I have no fucking idea. But McIntyre could potentially be upset that Punk is returning and Punk now being on Raw moves him down another notch. Meanwhile, he's in the midst of contract negotiations. He wants more money. He wants better creative. He wants a better spot on the show on Monday night. And now he moves down a peg with CM Punk coming on in. He feels that this guy who doesn't deserve to be here, doesn't belong here, is going to take his spot that he worked for, and Punk just gets to walk on in here after getting fired from the other place. That is a possibility. But the way that I saw it go down, I saw that Drew McIntyre walked out before Punk's music hit, and I thought, from my POV, that he was selling the fact that he lost, his team lost in War Games, and he didn't really accomplish what he wanted to accomplish. Because Drew McIntyre, he's that type of guy, he's going to blur the lines between what is work and what is shoot as well. You don't really know. So I'm going to go work on him as well. That's just my prediction there, but the report here is saying that he was legitimately and visibly upset backstage and that it was connected to the CM Punk return. At the end of the day, Drew McIntyre is a professional. He is one of the biggest pieces to WWE as far as PR is concerned. They send him everywhere. If there's one guy that's going to be professional here, it's going to be Drew McIntyre. Whether or not he stays, I don't know. This may actually drive him away from WWE, and this may drive him to AEW if he does not want to stay with CM Punk now returning for what is now a multi-year contract to the WWE. Due to the nature of the situation in pro wrestling, obviously, everything has the possibility of being a work, says Fightful. Yes. WWE reiterated that any perceived references from the likes of Shinsuke Nakamura or on commentary were not with the knowledge of this deal in place. They were not. None of those things had anything to do, and I said this to the fucking copy and paste, merchants online. These geeks online who take fucking copy and paste from everybody else and they want to get paid by Elon. None of these references, Nakamura doing the GTS, the lines in Rollins promo, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and what he said on commentary, Wade Barrett, none of these guys. It wasn't something that was in the know then. They were maybe willing it into existence because we always heard reports of, well, if the fans and people want it, WWE will bring it and they'll go out and get CM Punk. Maybe it was a part of that. I don't know. But Punk wasn't anywhere close to a deal when all of this shit was going down. So what happened with those instances did not have a direct effect on what happened here, as Punk maintained communication within the last week with Triple H and signed the contract as of Saturday before Survivor Series, the day of. So none of that had anything to do with the return of CM Punk. It was clearly something, and I looked at it like this, WWE was legitimately trying to drum up interest. They were probably mulling over the fact, hey, should we bring this guy back? Let's see. Let's kind of indirectly do these things and see what the audience feels about it and how they react. And clearly it got a big reaction. Maybe it was a big enough reaction for WWE to say, you know what? It may be in our best interest to bring him back. Look at how much reaction it's got just based off a one-liner in a promo or what Corey Graves said on commentary. Could be. We don't know. Now, whether it be Nakamura, USA Network's Twitter account, which was trolling everybody, or anyone that said he was coming back prior to last week, none of them knew because Punk didn't know, says Sapp. Said one source close to Punk. He even said himself that nobody claiming that they knew the situation fully really did. There was one top talent that told Fightful that they understood the surprise aspect of the situation, but felt like Triple H could lose some trust among many people that he worked to build it with. How is Triple H going to lose trust when he already told you that Punk was coming back well before it was going to actually transpire at the end of the show? This is a business. If you don't think that wrestling is business first and then wrestling second, entertainment second, maybe you just don't get it. It's business. They all come back. We've seen this happen time and time and time again. I mentioned Hulk Hogan. I mentioned The Ultimate Warrior. I mentioned Bruno Sammartino. Bret the Hitman Hart. After what happened to him, which may be one of the most vile situations done to anybody in the history, he came back. And Sting. WCW lifer walked foot in WWE. Why would you go out there and think CM Punk and the possibility of him returning was never going to happen? I don't think Triple H loses trust with anybody. Triple H is not going to lose trust with anybody in the locker room. Do you want to know why? Because Triple H and his management team is not going to allow what happened in AEW to happen in WWE. That's why. Everybody's going to do business. And everybody's going to sit down and willingly think, all right, business first. I don't have to like this guy. We're mature adults here. We're better than that other place. We're going to show them how it's done. Make your money and shut the fuck up. That's what we said about the Young Bucks. That's what we said about Hangman and Kenny Omega. Shut up and do business. They didn't want to do business. It was all about them. It wasn't about the company. It's about WWE as a company. Look at the reaction this got. Look at how hot the product is. WWE has made it a destination for people to want to be here. This is where you need to be. This is a different administration. They know that. The fans, the roster knows that. Look at what happened last night. If you're not excited about what's going on and the potential of what's going on here, I don't know where your mind is. I don't. The reactions weren't all negative. Fightful were told the reactions of some were filmed for possible digital content. And there were at least a couple of CM Punk's old friends that greeted him upon returning backstage. I'm assuming Kofi Kingston and guys like that. I don't know who he's talked to. I don't know who he needs to make amends with. CM Punk is going to do that. He started at the top, and I'm sure he'll work his way down, and he will get a greater grasp of that when he's there on Monday night backstage for Raw. So we got more news here as it's always filtering in. This is also from Fightful here. Regarding Drew McIntyre, he was legit upset. I don't believe that he's legit upset. Listen, he may not like CM Punk, but I honestly think that everything that happened with Drew McIntyre last night was a complete work. He's going to continue to sell what happened with the Judgment Day and losing to Judgment Day and him not accomplishing what he needed to do. They let him down. Legit upset after the match, but it was related to things broader than CM Punk. He's not signed a new contract. He hasn't been offered the money that he wants. He wants to stay. I'm assuming he wants to stay, but he's looking for a certain something. There's a lot more going on with Drew McIntyre than just CM Punk. CM Punk is a small aspect of it. Fightful said they'll work to find out more. As far as Seth Rollins, most people in the company believe he doesn't like CM Punk. It's fine. Doesn't mean he's not going to work with him, but is wise enough to capitalize on that by working heavily. Rollins is only going to make his brand and his stock bigger if he does what he did last night and continues to do what he did on Saturday night. Those we spoke to, say Fightful, claim that Vince McMahon was not involved in the decision of CM Punk coming back to WWE and that it was a Nick Khan and Triple H call. This brings a smile to my face. This warms my heart. Clearly, everybody, including myself, said because we don't really see Vince, giving that type of power away, his power has now lessened in the company, and it goes to show you that the report where Ari Emanuel wants Vince to do business-related things behind the scenes and have nothing to do with what happens on television. In this case, this is what happens on television. This is merely a Nick Khan and Triple H call. We all thought that he would meet with Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon still owns majority share over on the WWE side of things. And apparently he was not involved in the decision. Nick Khan is really showing his value here. He is. And clearly Triple H was involved because Triple H is going to be the one who's handling everything CM Punk and needs to directly be in the know. Vince McMahon had once shot the idea down of CM Punk coming back to the company when Fox wanted him for SmackDown. Sure, that's in the past. Nobody gives a shit. We're in the now. For those asking about what WWE's or AEW's reaction was, AEW's reaction was, there had been almost none that we've heard from, say Fightful. So no reaction from AEW, and it's probably for the best. I think they should keep their mouth shut. I've said this once, I'll say it again. Stop worrying about WWE. Stop. Worry about Wednesday. Put on a great show. You got a Continental Classic. You got a huge fucking pay-per-view coming up to pay off the biggest storyline in your history. Worry about your table. Worry about feeding your roster the best quality show that you could possibly give everybody. That's it. Stop worrying about the other place. You're not going to beat them. You're always going to be number 2. You're not going to be bigger than WWE. You're not going to be better than WWE. WWE showed you last night why they are the kings of what they do. And that's okay. That's okay. If Tony Khan worried less about WWE and worried more about what he needs to do for his company and his fans, things may be a little bit better. There should be zero reaction. There was talk of Punk being a free agent in WWE, meaning no affiliation to Raw or SmackDown, but he is scheduled for Raw on Monday, one of the most must-see Raws ever on Monday. I will be here live to cover it all. Much of WWE Raw was already planned without Punk, so rewrites for the show are in order to fit him in. He should be the first person we see on Monday with a microphone in his hand, and I said it once, and I'm going to say it again. Triple H is foaming at the mouth to get a microphone in this man's hand and send him out there. Phil, go out there and do what you usually do. Bury the other company. Be subtle about it, but be direct at the same time. And I'm sure Punk's explanation is going to be one with everybody watching why he showed up after all these years and all the statements he's made about WWE. People calling him a hypocrite, this and that. Sure, we all know he's a hypocrite. That's something that he has to sleep with. That's something he has to live with. I don't care. I don't care. Was he wrong in what he did in AEW? Sure, but he wasn't the only wrong party there. He wasn't the only immature one there. There was a ton of people that were immature about it. He was a part of the problem. He wasn't the majority of the problem. Now he's here. And it's going to be unbelievable to see how he weasels himself out of the hypocrisy talk. I'm sure he'll mention it. I don't care. As a content creator, I don't care. As a wrestling fan, I don't care. Do you want to know why? I said this last night. Every time he's on TV, he makes TV better. Every time he's on TV, legitimacy follows. Storyline follows. A wrench into the fucking formula that WWE has been so comfortable with. That's going to change. That's going to change. This is not going to be the same CM Punk from all those years ago. This is going to be he's going to be a more hungry CM Punk. He's going to be a CM Punk that wants to create, that wants to be better, that wants to remain at the top of his game for the duration of the fucking years that he has left on his career. It's not going to settle to become just another fucking name. If Punk wants something, if he wants to work with somebody, if he's got a storyline idea, Triple H will listen because Triple H knows. That's the fucking difference here. And I'm here for it, and you should be too. But it's going to be very interesting to see how he maneuvers away from all of the Punk is a hypocrite, fuck him talk. Yes, he is. We know. The sky's fucking blue. I get it. But why do you care? Why do you care what he does and how much money he makes? At the end of the day, you're going to watch how many of those 20 million plus, well, right now it could be 21 million, 22 million people that watch that clip on Twitter. How many of those people were people, fuck Punk? I can't stand Punk. How many of you watched his return? How many of you are going to watch Monday Night Raw on Monday? Whether you watch it live, whether you watch a clip of it, whether you watch a YouTube video of it, whatever. You're going to watch. Everybody's a fucking hypocrite. Regarding any references on TV to Nakamura or of Nakamura, Punk was not planned to be brought in when those started. The angle could certainly be adjusted to include Punk, but it wasn't at the time. There aren't many people who know what Nakamura's current program is. I don't know. I mean, are you guys clamoring to see Nakamura versus CM Punk? What good is that going to do Nakamura if Punk is the only one that's going to go over? I don't get it. Maybe it's somebody else completely that we don't have a fucking clue on. Now, while there was word elsewhere that Punk and Triple H's talks all happened within the last week, at least as of the Sunday prior to Survivor Series, so last Sunday, Fightful heard of them having a conversation to mend fences, which was something that happened within the last week via the other report that I just read. PW Insider noted that Punk had been made an offer by TNA Wrestling. Don't tell Jesse. Ibu of Wrestling Purists had said this weeks ago, and it's true. There will be more on this week, says Fightful. Many in TKO actually found out while watching WWE Survivor Series, so it was a very well kept secret. The claim from those within WWE is that it's a multi-year agreement. Fightful still haven't confirmed that the deal has been physically signed, although some other outlets have reported that it is. I do believe that it was signed. I mean, Fightful in the previous report said that it was signed on the Saturday of Survivor Series. Fightful also heard that Triple H was anxiously telling the cameraman on headset to get a shot of CM Punk from behind with the crowd in the background. This is why the approach on that shot was a little awkward. I didn't really even notice that. I mean, I don't really even give a shit about that. I think it was just sheer excitement about seeing him and hearing the music and just the fucking unbelievable notion that he even is here after what happened and what he said about the company all those years ago. At the end of the day, I'm excited about this. I can't wait to see what is going on here. Anything that I hear in regards to this story, I will keep you all posted on what is going on with CM Punk. I am excited about it. You have every right to not be excited about it. I know when people saw Cody jump from AEW to WWE, there were people that claimed Cody was a traitor and Cody's a turncoat. You have every right to feel that way. But Cody is going to make WWE television better. Has he made WWE television better? I mean, that's a give or take situation. I haven't really been happy with the creative of Cody Rhodes. I honestly feel like Cody's finally going to start to take off next year when we start building towards his story being finished going into WrestleMania 40. And when Cody is the world champion, that's when we're going to get the real Cody Rhodes, the Cody Rhodes that we all signed up for coming back to WWE. You have every right to feel that way about CM Punk. Every right. But don't sit there and tell me he's not a draw. Don't sit there and tell me he's not going to make the money. Don't sit there and tell me he's not going to make the television better. Don't sit there and tell me it's WWE wasting their time and money on CM Punk. No, clearly it's already paying off big for them. Everybody's come back. Everybody has come back. I don't understand why it should be any different with CM Punk. He is the one that's going to have to sleep at night laying next to his wife about the hypocrisy talk and him being a fucking turncoat on the fans. Clearly, 18,000 people didn't give a shit. The people that hounded him for an autograph last night as he was leaving the arena clearly didn't give a shit. They're just happy to see him back. It is one of those situations where you got to look, see, and appreciate him while he's here because we're never going to get another CM Punk. The reason people love him, no matter what he does or what he says, if he goes back and turns his back on what he said, the reason people love him in the first place is because he's open, he's honest about how he feels about things. And the fact of the matter is, and I've said this very much so in this show and on Saturday night, CM Punk is the wrench that you throw into the WWE wheel, and it's going to change the system a little bit. He's going to be that beacon of change, whether you want him or not. Did he change AEW television? He absolutely did. He absolutely did. He was the number one merchandise seller for months. He's still up there. He made television better. Collision has not been the same since he was fired. He made everything on Dynamite better. He made everything that he was, involved in and everybody in the ring with him better. He owns the record for the most pay-per-view buys for any AEW pay-per-view ever. He has the best storyline in AEW history with MJF, which now theoretically we could see played out and paid off in WWE when Max eventually jumps ship, whenever that may be. CM Punk is going to be change to the overall formula of WWE, where we get formulaic, vanilla television that you know is coming, that isn't overly exciting, and we just accept it because it's good. Now we have a reason to go out there and watch, and at least when he's on TV, no matter what he's saying, no matter what he's a part of, no matter who he's in the ring with, it is going to be better. That's what I'm here for. Better television. And if he brings us better television, that's all I can ask. I love the chaos. I love the tears. I love the energy. I love the fact that now with him back, everything is just amplified It makes me feel good about what I do. It makes me more excited to be here to talk wrestling with you guys. I love it. It's just great for the overall vibe of the community and great for the overall vibe of what we do as content creators. Stop the fucking tribalism. Stop. AEW will be fine. They are not dead. WWE right now is on another level. AEW cannot and will not compete. That doesn't mean AEW is dead. They need to worry about them. Zero reaction is the best reaction. Worry about the tournament, worry about World's End, worry about MJF and who the devil is. That is it. Give us great television. Stop worrying about WWE. Just give us great television, and everybody is going to be fine. Thank you guys very much for all your support. If you enjoyed the video today, let me know what you're thinking down below. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. I'm still just running on adrenaline because of this announcement. I will be here every step of the way to cover you on everything. It is going to be a massive week for the channel. We just hit 150,000 subscribers. We will be live on Monday after Raw. I'm expecting big numbers. I'm expecting big energy. I'm expecting you guys to show up live after Raw. Punk will be there on Monday. And then Andrew Baydala and myself are already prepping the biggest TNT Tuesday Night Titans on Tuesday ever. Trust me, he has a lot to say in regards about this situation. You'll hear it first live on Tuesday night. Thank you guys very much. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, turn on the bell for notifications, and please let me know what you think down below in the comments about the return of CM Punk. How are you feeling now on Sunday afternoon after watching history being made on Saturday night? If you guys missed the post-show review, it is live on the channel. Go check it out on the homepage and hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes right here this afternoon on OTS. Until then, guys, any news on Punk, I'll have it, and I'll see you live right here Monday after Monday Night Raw. I'll talk to you guys later.